I am foreign to the UK. In 2003, in Britain, shortly after my son turned 2 and after 3 years of severe domestic abuse, I filed for divorce, just for my baby and I to be tortured in family courts almost to death in order to stage a case for the abuser to win the child. They collectively encouraged extreme perjury, lied under oath in reports and judgments, encouraged my abuser to fabricate anything he liked about me in dozens of instances while deliberately ignoring all evidence for the extreme defamation, moved my distraught toddler 180 miles away, dumped him on strangers, and stole my due divorce settlement. I believe that theft was part of the corruption my abuser had threatened he'd use to take my baby away from me, even when I was pregnant, if I dared to flee. To my huge shock, I learned that mine was one of millions of similar cases, mainly against abused mothers, but also devoted, loyal fathers too, around the Western world, secretly, globally orchestrated with the public not allowed to know and with the media gagged. Thousands have committed suicide and their bereft families are silenced. The West, especially Britain, continue to send their academics, journalists and politicians to poorer and ill-famed countries to preach on and monitor their human rights. The following are 2 out of dozens of pieces of evidence for the criminality on an industrial scale that I was ordered to ignore if I ever wanted to see my severely depressed, virtually orphaned for money baby again. Unbelievably, neither are the police allowed to act, nor are the politicians, religious leaders, adequate charities, foreign embassies, etc. The perpetrators know that, as no matter what party wins, the elite are always in charge and unaccountable. Concocts are a UK government agency whose operators are court child expert witnesses who make reports on who children should live with. They are totally unaccountable, can exert their personal jealousy, nastiness, xenophobia, racism, misogyny, misandry, Satanism, anything they wish upon the families, and unsupervised are totally open to corruption, ipso facto child sale. In my case, according to some lawyers, the officer was a former prison officer with very poor training and a dubious record in her court work, yet no one stopped her. With me, she was overtly xenophobic and almost never mentioned the child, but furiously berated me for my due divorce settlement, which was the gist of the entire case, telling me that I had not come to the UK as a foreigner to get my husband's money. Having seen how much the judges had lied to stage the case already, and how much my female solicitor had stabbed my baby in the back by almost never protecting him, later the very words of the then Family Division High Court President, the officer embarked upon sickening criminality and child abuse that I thought we would never come out of alive. Fuming with hatred towards foreigners, jealousy towards me, and I believe fueled by some enticing shiny coins behind the scenes, she fabricated her report, ignored the letters and red flags from our family doctors, the police, the social services, and even my abuser's company, all warning her about him, and ripped the 2-year-old away from me, withdrew him from his preschool, and had him dumped on strangers to grow up like an orphan hundreds of miles away from me. I believe, as she knew the police were not allowed to check her bank account in relation to my abusers. This letter is from the police, proving that she lied about them in her report. She said she had visited the police and investigated everything thoroughly, yet she had neither visited them nor called them. The same with my GP. 2 GPs actually. Lied again. This is a 4th letter regarding government agencies she was meant to visit and talk to regarding the child, and she never had, because they were all against my abuser and pro me. The letter is from the social services, proving that she lied about them too. In my desperate phone calls to them, the social services called her conduct towards my child serious child abuse that she should be responsible for. Confronted with this evidence and tons more, Kafkas told me that the officer had retired and hence could not be prosecuted. The same with a couple of other mothers in our town whose lives she had destroyed. Despite a plethora of threats from some senior judges, but also back then support from a couple of others, I have campaigned for 21 years this March to, alongside thousands of other campaigners worldwide, stop these atrocities. I have compiled a list of a handful of brave global lawyers, judges, academics, NGO leaders, journalists who have campaigned alongside us victims and the automatically sacked whistleblowers. Some of them have also lost their careers as a result, but not their integrity and faith, unlike the self-serving sycophants who monetarily profit with blood on their hands.